Hello everybody, Sean. Welcome back to Photoshop Tips and Tricks and Tutorials. Today we're working inside CS6 and we have a question from Tamara Bookman. And she asks, Sean, can you please give an example of how we would use Refine Edge in selecting hair? Well, that's a great question, and let me tell you, looking at my lesson plans, I definitely wanted to touch base on Refine Edge, and what better way to show off Refine Edge than hair? Hair is probably the best, if not definitely the best example of the Refine Edge tool. If you're going to use Refine Edge, you're going to go out with a bang, and you're going to use it on hair, you know? In the past, I was thinking back, in the Stone Age, how did we do this? Well, me personally, what I would have done is I would have used the quick selection tool, and I would have tweaked the edges in quick mask mode with a brush and painted in as close as I could get, and use the smudge and smudge the edges and use the blur tool. That's how we did compositing, and hair was extremely hard. You wouldn't get every strand. It would just be impossible. You would be there for days, and it just wasn't possible. A big time consuming task. So you would be working on hours on one project. So why would we use this? Well, many instances. In this instance, we are going to remove this woman from the background, and we are going to place her on this background. Okay, very useful for portrait photographers. And like I said, back in the day, we'd have to be doing quick selection, quick masking, and nightmare, big nightmare. Refine Edge has made it where, using sophisticated algorithms and everything that Photoshop does, it actually pulls in what you need. Is it 1,000,000% perfect? It's not. As a matter of fact, most of the time you are going to be tweaking it and cloning and fixing things, but compared to what it used to be, it's night and day. I refer to it just like content aware fill. Sure, 90% of the time you're not going to get it 100%. You're still going to be work involved, but look at the starting point of how much time you saved. So you're always going to have to put a little work into something. So I'm going to show you, and again, for the purposes of this demo, we're not going to go crazy, but I am going to show you how to do Refine Edge on someone's hair. So I'm taking, as you can see, the quick selection tool, and I'm not going to spend all time here, but I could tweak this out like anything in a demo, and I'm going to select what I can, okay, and try to get it, as good as you can. Remember, when it comes to the hair, don't worry about it, because we're going to finesse that later. And if you pull in too much, you can always use the Option Alt key to go into minus mode and subtract from the selection. Okay, so we're going to take that out. Add a little bit back in. Definitely can go crazy here, Okay, so I think that's good for this example. Now, as you notice, when we're still on the selection and we have the marching ants, we have the Refine Edge in the upper left here. So we're going to click that. Now, look at this. Here's where we can do some serious compositing. Now, we have a few options here. This may not necessarily be what you're going to do, but this is how I use it in my workflow. I hit the Smart Radius, and I put it around in the middle. And I'll change it as I go, as I see fit, according to the image. But I like to start off there. You can mess with all these later, adjust edge, but I'm more worried about edge detection and also down here in output. So we want to decontaminate colors. Keep that around in the middle. That's going to help with fringing, any color fringe that we have. We don't want to overslide it either, because it starts to look funky, as a lot of sliders do in this panel. So you really do have to mess with these options. And then, of course, we have two tools here. We have Eraser, which will subtract from the Refine Edge, and then we have the Refine Radius tool, which will add to it. What I like to do is I like to use a decent sized brush, maybe about that big, And I like to go halfway into the picture and halfway out of the picture and go around the edges. Okay, maybe bring that down a little bit with the left bracket key. So I wouldn't really worry about any of this right now. I would concentrate on the hair. So let's see. Remember, you're not always going to get the results you want right away. Look at that. Not bad. Not bad at all. Sure, we have some tweaking, but look at the strands. Look how it got the rest of this hair coming down. Look at the hair up here. You would not be able to select that manually. Here's another thing I should tell you about. You also have your own option to how you view your composites, how you view your selections. And what you do is you go to view here in view mode. Now we're on a black background, but we could put it on overlay, like a quick mask. People like that. And you can also see by doing that what it's doing to the selection. You know, how you can actually see how refined edge is working. We could do it on white, and we could do it on transparent. Transparent could be very useful because actually I like to use transparent quite a lot because you can really see what's happening here. As you can see, we have to subtract this, we have to subtract some of this, and then of course we could go in here with the eraser tool and we could start going crazy. And you know, I don't worry too much. Let's get back there. I don't worry too much because once I have my image done, we can always fine tune it. Alright, and as you can see, I'm messing around here. Okay, so like I said, you know, you could definitely start going crazy. But that looks good as a starting point. So we're going to hit the OK button. And just like if you was in quick mask mode, it's going to make a selection. And it's going to block out the background and put it on its own separate layer. So now it's a selection. So now I can click it and grab it. And watch this. Place it right into my background. Look at that. Okay. Now, of course, we have a lot of fine tuning, but that's fine. Not worried about that too much. Okay. Now, even though I have a lot of tweaking and cloning and whatever, look at the time that I saved and look at the accuracy when it comes to the hair strands and all the strands in the hair. I would have still been there halfway through, not even. So this is refined edge, and I just wanted to show you what a great way to select hair. Great thing to do with portraits, anything. Refined edge is great with anything. I've used it for many things, many textures, but especially dropping people into different backgrounds, and especially people with hair, with crazy hair, with long hair. You know, the wind was blowing, I remember when I took this picture. This is an excellent way to get more precise when selecting hair. So that's refined edge. Mess around with it, and don't just use it on hair. Try it on other things, and let me know what you think. Okay? This is Sean with the Refine Edge tool. I will see you back in the next lesson. Take care.